Hi, everybody. Welcome to the VAU mic check. We are on Zoom. And if you didn't get in this week, we'll be here next week. And easier to get into because, again, we're on Zoom. So, hey, who wants to take this script first?
No one's leaving?
It is a character script, so
I'll jump in.
Have fun with it.
Okay, I'll go first. I'll start it off for you guys. So,
okay.
Just a quick share. You don't even. How's my read? No, I'm kidding. Okay, hi folks, Clem the Old Prospector here to tell you how you can strike it rich. And you don't even need a pick and shovel. All you need is a giant food store bonus card to start saving with best discounts every day. So come on into Giant today and get your bonus card.
Okay, my check's over. That's pretty darn good.
And let me give you guys an alt just for the fun of it.
Okay.
Howdy, folks. Clem the Old Prospector here to tell you you can strike it rich. You don't even need a pick and shovel. All you need is a giant food store bonus card to start saving with big discounts every day. So come on into Giant today and get your bonus card.
I think that second take would probably be the one that would hit the markets.
That's exactly what I was thinking. The first one I thought was a little rushed.
Yeah, I agree. I like the second one the best.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where someone just asked me the other day, they were first time they were auditioning for a video game. And I said, make sure that not only you're changing up the read and the stuff, but try different timings as well, right? So I have come from, as Shane was saying, more the radio thing where it's like, okay, here's 30 seconds, 30-second spot, but we've got 40 seconds of copy. So you got to get through the thing, you got to get through it quick. And then you start working on other stuff where they've got bigger budget, and all of a sudden you can read it very relaxed. There's no rush to get to the end. So, giving options is always good, right?
absolutely.
Who's up next?
I can give it a try.
Okay. Now remember, this doesn't have to be gender specific because Clem can stand for Clementine. So
That's right.
Okay. Howdy, folks. Clem the Old Prospector here to tell you how you can strike it rich. And you don't even need a pick and shovel. All you need is a giant food store bonus card to start saving with big discounts every day. So come on in to Giant today and get your bonus card.
And give us an alt.
Okay. Howdy, folks. Clem the Old Prospector here to tell you how you can strike it rich. And you don't even need a pick and shovel. All you need is a giant food store bonus card to start saving with big discounts every day. So come on in to Giant today and get your bonus card.
It's good.
yeah, that was a smooth delivery.
Yeah, nice pacing on that second one.
Mm-hmm. If I was saying anything, usually, I guess I should probably give you guys just a tad bit of background. I've worked as a voice director as well when I was working in the broadcast scenario. A lot of the times the producers that were coming in were newer juniors or not that familiar with voiceover or voice direction. They'd be able to put the spot together visually, but the rest of it was kind of in the dark. So we'd usually get talent in, the talent would do a take, and then the producer would kind of sit there with a blank look on their face and then look over at me knowing that I had, at that point in time, probably 6-7 years experience and say, well, what do you think? So I'd end up voice directing the session a lot of the time. So I've probably directed literally hundreds of spots and dozens of just a quick note on any of that stuff. I'd say whenever you do an alt or you're doing your main read, always think of the prime words to hit, just because that's what the client's going to be looking for. So usually it's the use, freeze, nows, bonus, today, just to give those words a little extra sauce in at least one of the takes. to show that you're trying to hit the point home. It's going back to sort of Shane's comment about hard sell. There's quite often there still has to be a little bit of an element of that in there to get across the point, because that's what the client is going to want to hear. They're going, well, hey, if there's not a big push on today and it's free and it's all about you and our, and then you're just going to make sure you cover those in at least one take.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, great reads.
Thank you.
Dynamic. That was very good. You've said you've been into this for a year?
That's right.
You practice every day, right?
Probably not every day, but when I can.
That's good.
And again, I'd just like to add that a lot of the times it's not about the quality of your voice. It's about your ability to perform and deliver.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of what I rely on, because honestly, I don't have like that, what you would think of as a regular voiceover, smooth commercial voice. So I try to focus a lot on the delivery and character behind the script.
That's the
great.
thing. With me, okay, I've got this youthful, high-pitched voice, okay? 46 years old, and I sound like I'm 20. And for a long time, I hated that. I tried to get away from it. I trained myself to talk deeper just so that I would sound like a man. But yeah, it was just one of those things. It's like, but I had someone tell me as I got into, I'm doing an animation gig right now, and someone told me, they said, you have a youthful voice. That's your money voice. Use it.
That's it.
Yeah, because I'm not the stereotypical voice actor either,
Right.
And I can go into a way high range, which also gives me the ability to do female characters.
Oh yeah.
Where I mean, if I'm going through a drive-through, I can do a character, and they'll be like, "Okay, ma'am, would you like fries with that?" But yeah, it's one of those things. But the thing of it is you can make use of that, and no, it's not about your voice; it's about the heart and soul you're putting behind it.
Yeah, good advice.
And there's a market for every voice, right? I mean,
really.
Well, look at Yeardley Smith, who played Lisa Simpson. Do you think you'd ever catch her voice in a commercial? I mean, that's basically no, but she happened to have the perfect voice for a character, right? And a lot of the times, that's what it boils down to. So people shouldn't get discouraged thinking, well, I don't have the right voice. Learn how to act. Get your chops together. Know how to deliver something. And then there will be there's pockets for everyone and every type. So that's where the perseverance comes in, right? Keep slugging at it. And
yeah, the patience.
That's it. It's not for the people who are like, oh, yes, I'm going to be making – we had a friend of ours going, hey, I was thinking about getting into voiceover so I can make some quick money. It was like I almost peed myself. I was laughing. I'm like, really? Quick money? Okay, then.
You're going to be sadly disappointed.
Yeah.
Because that's not how this gig works.
No.
You better be in it for the long haul, and you better have a passion for it.
And you better have something back up to pay the bills for the first gazillion years, just to play it safe. I mean, there's people that are in positions that aren't in that position. I'm married. I have a wife and a daughter and a mortgage and everything else. So, if I'm not making X amount of dollars, then obviously I'm in a tight pinch. But I mean, if you're young and, especially if you're young and you live at home and you have no expenses, then, it puts you in a position where you can put a lot of effort into it and not have that pressure or stress of worrying about, hey, how am I going to pay the bills, right? So different strokes, different folks, and then different ways to make it happen. Like as you said, Nathan, you still work in master control because it's a regular paycheck and you're not going to have to worry week to week, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. I mean, and I know one day there's going to come that big transition, but I have to take it day by day, a step at a time, and I keep auditioning for everything that I can get my hands on. And meantime, I am working one regular gig because it's
it's regular
job. So, but it's regular. Plus, I'm doing spots for the TV station. So, hey, that helps too.
You're tuning in as well, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Who's up next?
Who would like to take this next?
I'll take a shot.
All right.
And I've actually, while you guys have been talking, I have muted the mic and gone back and listened to some old. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Walter Brennan, the guy that was on. Was it The Real McCoys on TV? But
Yes.
yeah, I'm kind of going for some sort of cross between Walter Brennan and Bob Dylan on this first one. Howdy, folks. Clem, the old prospector here, to tell you how you can strike it rich. And you don't even need a pick and shovel. All you need is a giant food store bonus card and start saving with big discounts every day. So come on into Giant today and get your bonus card.
It's good.
That was good.
And an alt.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like in my mind when I read the script first. So good job.
Let's hear another take on it.
Yeah, and this time because one of the times I read through it, I kind of wanted to give it the Sam Elliott treatment. So let's see how that goes.
If I swear to God, if I read that on one more breakdown.
We need a Sam Elliott.
Howdy, folks. Clem, the old prospector here, to tell you how you can strike it rich. And you don't even need a pick and shovel. All you need is a giant food store bonus card to start saving with big discounts every day. So come on into Giant today and get your bonus card.
It's good too.
That was good. I'm sitting there, I'm picturing Sam Elliott standing in the bowling alley.
Yeah. The dude abides.
Excellent. Hello, JD. Let me paste in the script again for these guys. There you go, JD.
Hey, what's happening?
We got an interesting character script today.
Okay.
I found this little thing in the resource, the practice script resource on Voice Artists United website last night. I don't ever remember seeing this one before, so.
A nice little pleasant surprise.
Oh, yes. Well, guys, I mean, it was blended in with all these commercial scripts, and I'm like, let's do something character related. Oh, there it is. All right. Well, Shane, are you satisfied with your take?
For the most part, I mean, there's always something I can do better, but
Yeah. That Sam Elliott take was just, personally, I think they would have put that one in,
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm thinking the harmonica in the background, and the crickets.
Him standing out in the desert and a giant food
Yeah.
store behind him.
Yeah. Or the campfire scene in Blazing Saddles, one of the two.
There you go. What in the wide world of
Because if
sports
you
is
just
going
say big
on
money
here?
at a grocery store, that's probably going to be the after effect.
You can't be doing the grocery store spots when you're supposed to be out here a digging. Oh, with that, I'll take this next one. Howdy, folks. I'm the old prospector here to tell you how you can strike it rich. And you don't even need a pick and shovel. All you need is a giant food store bonus card to start saving with big discounts every day. So come on into Giant today and get your bonus card.
That was fun. Let's hear your alt.
Howdy, folks. Clown the old prospector here to tell you how you can strike it rich. And you don't even need a pick and shovel. All you need is a Giant Food Store bonus card to start saving with big discounts every day. So come on in to Giant today and get your bonus card.
That's a good tip.
Yeah, see, that's the one I would think they would have. You nailed that.
Yeah, I like the second one because it had more highs and lows. The first one was just kind of on the same note the whole time, so I thought that was better.
So
If that's a TV spot and the character is animated, I mean, I thought that was perfect.
Yeah.
What I pictured in my head when I did that second one, and I've been forming this in my head the whole time I've been looking at this script, is the floppy, wide-brimmed hat, the old prospector, he's leaning on a pick.
Missing a tooth?
Got his hand on his back. This is for take 2. And so what I did was I just kind of leaned over, put my hand on my back, acted like I was leaning on the pick, and just went with it.
So just let me ask, how many people here have worked in like a pro session where you're at a pro studio and you've actually got a voice director and the client in the room and they're really running you through the ringer to get the reads?
I have. I know I have. I don't know about running me through the ringer. Because that's subjective. Generally, if you're spot on with what it is you're trying to get or close, then it's not difficult. Normally, if I have a session, I can get in and out of my session in 45 minutes.
Yeah, I guess I should re-qualify running through the ringer. Running through the ringer, more or less covering their ground. So, for example, I did a wrestling spot years and years and years ago, and honestly, they had me read every single line, every way imaginably possible, just so in case the client said, have you got another take where you pushed the word blah, 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 blah? They'd go, yeah, we got one of those. So they didn't have to bring me back in. So they'd ask for a lot, right? And you may have noticed, JD, where especially when it comes down to the tagline. So for us on this, it would pretty much be, so come into Giant today and get your bonus card, where they'll say, okay, give me 3 in a row of the tagline, because they're just looking to hammer home that last little part.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't mean running you through the ringer as giving you a hard time or making you do it, but just they're covering their ground and they're making sure that they got their ground covered. So in the event that there is a change from the client, they don't have to bring you back in and pay for studio time and pay you for another session, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's a big one that you hear all the time, right? Especially when you're coming down to the tag where they'll say, give me an ABC or give me 3 in a row on that last line.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So a good practice. I don't know how many of you other guys do that when you're doing something like that, but quite often when I'm auditioning for something and there is a big important tagline like that, I will give them an option of 3 at the end, just so even if I've just read the spot, if it says 1 take, I may squeeze, at least 1 or 2 extra tags on the end just to show a different take on the tag, because that is the big seller, right?
Absolutely.
Nathan, Shane, comments?
Yeah, normally most of the so-called pro studio experience I've had, especially if it involves a client, the client is one of those that's in love with the sound of their own voice, and they're the ones coming in to do the voice session because they think everybody loves hearing them on the radio. So,
sweet Jesus, help me.
Yeah. And trying to direct those people is a nightmare because they don't want to listen. They think they know it all.
Especially if they've written the spot or had any hand in that, right?
Right. Yeah. Car dealers are the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, don't even get. For years, I did a handful of a whole auto group in Texas and in around Texas. Funny because I'm a Canadian, but whatever. And it eventually came down to the clench where they said, the owners of the dealerships are going to start voicing their own spots. And I'm like, great, good for them. And she said, well, I still want you to mix all the spots for us because, like I said, I come from an engineering background. So she's like, yeah, you do some kind of magic where the spots sound awesome. But I get some of these reads sometimes, and I'm just going, "Oh, you've got to be kidding me!"
Yeah.
It gives the personal touch, right? Where it's like, you come on in, you meet me. I actually sell you the car. I'm the guy. So I get it, but sometimes the reads are just so atrocious, right?
Those guys, some of those guys, it's funny to me that they will make such a big deal about telling you who they are in those commercials, like they're rock stars, like they can't go anywhere without having to sign autographs and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got one that we make fun of because there's one particular general manager of one of the that's in the car business locally where I do radio that has never kept a job more than about 6 months. And about every 6 months, he'll do a big radio campaign for whatever particular car dealer he is floated around to, and he'll make a big deal. Hey, everybody, this is so-and-so, and I'm just letting you know I'm back in town. And I'm, like the Beatles have shown up here again.
I am a superstar.
Yeah.
I'm dealing cars.
If you were that good, obviously you're not hitting your sales numbers, and that's why you're floating around from car dealer to car dealer. But,
Yeah, exactly.
For not meeting your quota.
Oh, I wanted to do one more take on this, only with a female voice.
Okay, and just let me give you a quick little bit of direction, Nathan, while you're there. Let's go back to what I said before about the yous, the yours, the bonus, the giants, the bigs. Just giving those words a little extra sauce as you come across them.
Okay.
Howdy, folks. Clementine, the old prospector, here to tell you how you can strike it rich. And you don't even need a pick and shovel. All you need is a giant food store bonus card. Start saving with big discounts every day. So come to Giant today and get your bonus card.
That's good, man. It's funny.
Yeah, it's a character I created named Imogene.
There you go.
She did one of my radio spots.
You can draw character resources from, right? I tell people all the time, it's like, look, just don't worry about building something from scratch. There's people in your everyday life that you're going to come across that are perfect studies for character.
I actually modeled her after the voice of a friend of mine in the first grade. His mom sounded like that.
There you go.
And I just kind of blended it up with a little bit of the dialect from my one of my aunts. Llewellyn, if you're listening, thank you. Because I would hear this lady and she's like,
you boys need to go out of doors and play, okay? I'm just tired of you being in this house.
Nathan, there is a series of YouTube videos that are huge regionally around Alabama, where I am, and it's a guy actually who, and on the video he makes no bones about the fact that he is a guy. I mean, the guy's got razor stubble and whiskers, but the character he's playing is called the Southern Mama, and it was basically just everything his mother had ever said to him as a kid, and one of them is Southern Mama at the Little League baseball game. Southern Mama trying to get some sleep on a Saturday morning, and the kids are, coming in, bothering her with everything. And that's very similar to that. Very, very funny. If you're just search on YouTube under Southern Mama, I mean, this guy is making a pretty nice living just off those videos now. I mean, he's getting millions and millions of hits.
wow. Oh, now that we've gone through that, and by the way, how was that read?
I don't mean that. Do not take this the wrong way, because I mean it as a compliment. But it's one of those deliveries. I think just hearing it, that if you heard it on radio or saw it on TV, it would probably be kind of annoying, yet at the same time so memorable that you would have done a very great job of branding that character and the client, where it might be slightly annoying and putting off to people when they saw it or heard it, but they would know exactly who it was, and they would know exactly who you were pitching.
Oh my God, I've created another flow.
But a lot of the times that is the secret, right? If you can create something unique that sticks out as far as the brand goes, it doesn't even necessarily have to be pleasant as long as it's memorable.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
that was the first thing I was thinking on that last read you did.
No wonder that guy with that radio station liked that spot.
We have spots up here for Spence Diamonds, which is like one of the bigger jewelry stores. And the guy that does the voiceover for them, he comes off, just his voice is very effeminate. And you'd think, are you really looking to buy a ring for your wife, or is this for your boyfriend? Just his whole, hi, this is Sean from Spence Diamonds. And today we're going to be doing this great little
Oh, my God.
But the thing is, he's been doing it for years, because as soon as you hear his voice, you go, oh, it's that guy from Spence Diamonds again. But what are you thinking? Spence Diamonds.
I don't know how many Howard Stern fans we have, but he has a regular advertiser on Sirius. It's a jeweler, and it's a guy who his hook is that all the other jewelers hate him because his prices are so low. And his website is even IHateStevenSinger.com.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yes. And as a matter of fact, his name, he'll go on with his name. Hey, it's I Hate Steven Singer.
Wow. Hey, if it hooks the listener,
Yeah.
there you go.
That's it, right?
Sounds like somebody's dialing out.
What?
Hello, you've reached the Howard Stern Show.
Bubba Boy!
Cola, are you there? New York, are you there? I've been wanting to try that one. It looks like we got another person in. Hi, Kate. I hear voicemail.
Somebody, yeah.
I'm trying to figure out where that's coming from. Okay. Somebody didn't have their mic muted. Well, now that I've gone through that, and yeah, I love doing those characters. And they're literally a boatload of them in there. And my thing is, I like watching people's eyes bug out while I practice them in public. Somebody will think some lady's yelling at her kid,
Boy, don't you do that again. I'm going to spank your bottom.
No, Mommy, you're not going to spank my bottom. I won't let you.
Next thing you know, child services are showing up.
and I'm sitting there going, what? I didn't see anything.
See, in the South, that's just another day at Walmart. Nobody's thinking.
You know, you're right. Here in Tennessee, yeah, they don't pay any attention to that. Oh, it's just that lady again. I was doing impressions of the guy from Superstore, the guy that plays the manager. I'm at Walmart, and the lady at the service counter about fell on the floor laughing. I was like, I guess you watch that show, don't you?
We need to work a little bit more on our customer service, okay? I'm really tired of people walking out of the store without anything in their hands. You're scaring them off.
That was great.
Anyway, hey, JD, you want to take this next?
Yeah, let me take a little shot at it, see what's happening.
Howdy, folks. Clem, the old prospector here to tell you how you can strike it rich. You know you don't need a pick or a shovel. All you need is a giant food store bonus card to start saving with big discounts every day. So come on in to Giant today and get your bonus card, you hear?
I like that. You hear?
Yeah, that was very good. Yeah.
And that JD made a great point there. It's never be afraid to ad-lib in a script either. So always give them one read verbatim, exactly what's written on the page, just so you're not offending the writer. And then the second one, don't be afraid to fall off there a bit, because that will make you stand out in an audition, right? It's something as small as that you hear, right? And JD, I got to tell you, you crack me up, man, because you got one of those voices, and then you go to read and you're like, hey, I'm like, oh boy, yeah.
See, I do video game characters too, so I try to come up with something every now and then.
That's good.
That was terrific character acting. It's like I'm picturing JD's face in my head, and then all of a sudden it's like whoop, he was another person completely.
So JD, give us another one, complete change up from that one. Let's hear what else you got.
Howdy, folks. Clem, the old prospector here to tell you how you can strike it rich. You don't even need to pick up a pick and a shovel now. All you need to do is get a Giant food store bonus card and start saving with big discounts every day. So come on in to Giant. Come on in today and get your bonus card.
And just something for the newer people out here. If you are doing like you are in an actual session with actual people, everybody makes mistakes. I don't care who you are. I work on a series with a daytime, an Emmy-nominated actor, and this guy is absolutely brilliant, but he still makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. I don't care who you are or how awesome you are. Don't sweat it. Never apologize. Just go back and pick up the line from the top and knock it out of the park again. Don't worry about making mistakes.
Yeah, I just tried to keep going. I knew I screwed up.
No, but that's the whole thing, right? There's no need to stop and go, oh, because I mean, there's times where you make it, honestly, I scored a gig last year where it was a 6-month contract. It was at least two U.S. nationals per week. Some weeks it was 5. And I listened back to my audition and I went, oh, you've got to be kidding me. I actually sent them an audition where I had a flub in the line and I picked it up and I didn't edit it out before I auditioned it. So I totally had a mistake in the read, and then I was like, and then I picked it up from where I was and finished it off, and I still got the gig. So, that stuff happens. The whole point is just to, like JD said, you just go back over, you pick it up, and you keep plowing along. Unless someone says, okay, cut, let's take it from the top. And that's the other thing. That's never your job to make that decision. If you're reading and you make a mistake, pick up the line, keep going. Unless someone specifically tells you, cut, stop, then don't keep going, because there could be absolute magic in the top and the back of the read, one small line flub that they could pull from another read. So it's, let that decision be up to whoever's directing the session.
Absolutely.
Good advice.
And also some of the funniest moments come from those mistakes. And even sometimes when the line or, the joke in the late night monologue doesn't quite land, and, whoever the host is, and Johnny Carson was the master at this, of being able to take that joke that bombed in the monologue and then ad-libbing something that was absolutely killed right behind it. So,
for sure.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta just stick with it, just for the sake of not breaking your character.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and that's particularly true when you're doing character reads. Because something as simple as trying to say pickup is going to take you out of where you were at.
Yeah. Unless you say pickup in character.
Pick up.
Or I've done this thing, and I heard Dan Leonard on VoiceOver Body Shop, talk about their clicker. Well, I just snap my fingers. That way I can see where the break is.
It all works.
And stay in character. And then edit it out after I get done.
Yeah.
As if I'm doing it from here.
And that's my philosophy, is that I could always go back and pull it out and edit it. But when you break totally out of your read, then even going back into it, your voice is going to sound different. Yeah. You can tell the difference if your ears trained enough to be able to. Yeah. It's like music. When somebody misses a beat or something, then you can hear it.
Yeah. Well, the funniest thing is when I was doing the radio spots, I did a spot and I used the name of a particular gospel group here in Tennessee. Actually, I used the name of a national gospel group. And the guy said, well, I want the name of this local gospel group. So can you change that name? So I had to do the whole back into the spot all over again, but keep that same feel in it, with the characters going that I was using to do it.
And that's another good point. A lot of times if I'm working on a project and one of my clients send me a edit and it's only 1 or 2 words, generally what I'll do is I'll go back and do the whole thing. The only time I won't do that is if they say, I need it right now, I got to be 2 minutes from now, and I know that it's going to take me considerably longer to fix the edit, then that's on them. But I generally try to redo the whole read.
Absolutely true.
Matching and doing pickups like that is an art all unto its own.
It really is.
It's one of those things that requires a lot of time and a lot of practice to be able to go back. I've had clients come back like 3 years later and say, oh, we just need the tagline change for this. We love the rest of the read. So you got to put yourself in that space. And like I said, it's like anything with voiceover, right? It requires a lot of practice to get it in there. And as you said, JD, sometimes it's, it'd be just smoother to read the whole thing. But if you can really work on trying to get that match down and finding that right pocket and getting like I said, voice matching is an art all unto its own, especially when you have reads from years before, because, as you get older, your voice changes. So I'm often curious if I could go back and actually do a punch in a spot that I did, at the very beginning. And if I could match that, or if there's enough difference in tonality in my voice that I couldn't, or whether I've had enough practice where I could.
And the other thing about that is depending on what kind of DAW you're using. Because I use Logic, and it's
Go Logic!
It's for people that are not aware, it's actually used for recording music. So because the DAW is so deep, I can have unless I could get back to that exact same template, something as simple as your equalization or your compressor could be different from day to day, and trying to find. So a lot of times if I'm working on something for a client, I'll save the whole project.
I save every project I've ever done. If you ask me, hey, can you pull out that job you did in 1998? I'd have a DVD backup somewhere with that project on.
Yeah, that's real important.
I'm probably getting a little out of control in the backup department, but it's good to have. Just completely off base, but not completely off base. JD, what I do is I've got a template created for voiceover where my EQ, my compressor, all that stuff is already preset, as well as my zoom size, my track size, all my options. Then I save that as a template. So generally, what I do is I'll run all my auditions in a session, and I found maybe around the 5 or 6 hour mark into the session, Logic starts to bog down because of the size of the project, and then I literally launch a new one. Usually, it's probably once a month. And then I'll launch the new one fresh from that template, and everything is always identical regardless of what goes on. And then generally I don't touch any of that stuff. The only thing I'll do is where I have clients where they say, I want a complete unprocessed file, then obviously I'll bypass my compress and my EQ. But if not, then it's always the same. And I've created actual plugins. What's the word I'm looking for? A preset for the plugin. So even if I were to start from scratch, I just go, okay, call up, my VAU master plugin, and there's the compressor and the EQ like I always have it set up, so it's always consistent. So a little thing for Logic, which is awesome, is that you can create a template and launch from that template every time, and then it is always consistent.
Right, and that's one of the things that I try to do. And I don't know if that's possible with some of the other DAWs that people are using. I know a lot of people use what's the name of it?
Audition?
Yeah, Adobe Audition, and it was another one that was free.
Audacity.
Yeah. I use the daylights out of Audacity. I will.
That's what I use.
I'm an Audacity user. I've used it for television spots. So
they're all just tools, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it is. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, it's and I've mastered the use of Audacity over the years and found it to work well for me. Well, there's a couple times when it didn't, and I had to find an alternative, which thank God I use an open source operating system where I can get alternatives very quickly and easily. So,
And see, I could have started out with Audacity, but one of the things that I wanted to do as a voiceover artist was to be able to supply the full package, which meant that I didn't want to buy music. I wanted to be the one to create the music bed that would sit under somebody's commercial. And so that's how I got into Logic, and that's still what I'm working on today.
Yeah, honestly, if you're a Mac user and your requirements are anything greater than Audacity, Logic is the best, absolute best bang for the buck there is out there. So, and as I mentioned, I come from a recording engineering background, so I've worked on pretty much every major DAW there is before there was even DAWs. I mean, you can look it up, Fairlight and AMS Neve audio files. I worked on those systems long before Pro Tools was just in its infancy in version 1. I actually worked in Sound Designer before Pro Tools was even released. That's how old I am. But you know, if, like I said, if you're a Mac user and you want to do anything more in depth than what Audition offers or Audacity, then Logic is a killer app for the money. You just cannot beat it. And just to throw a disclaimer out there, I'm in the same boat as JD. Actually, my job is split between voiceover and composing. So I actually compose for a living as well. So that's why Logic is my go-to. I was a Pro Tool user for many years. I found it didn't help me for music, and eventually I got sick of the constant update path and hardware upgrade needs and incompatibility with the latest OS release. And I went, you know what? I already use Logic for music. Could I use Logic for full post audio? Posting to video, doing full post sessions, sound design, music, voiceover? Absolutely yes. Now I wouldn't look anywhere else. So
there you go, kids.
Just a tool, but man, when you got a tool with all the right little pieces and parts, it certainly makes life easier.
That's one of those things that I always say, and there's a tool for every job.
That's right.
You know, and no worries to anybody who's new. Starting out, you know, you use what you can get your hands on as long as it works and it doesn't destroy what you're working on.
The most important part is just to get a clean take. Too many people get caught up in, oh, I need like a really expensive microphone and I need to use this DAW with this interface and I got to make it. Look, don't worry about that. Have you got a dead space, A, to record in? Because the last thing I want to hear is your room. And second of all, have you got chops? Because it doesn't matter. You could have a $3,000 Neumann and a $5,000 Avalon preamp, but if you have no acting chops and you're reading in your bathroom full of tile, guess what?
Yeah.
Right? So worry about having a good space and having good chops. And I always go back to this where people's like, well, I'm not landing enough jobs. I think I need to improve my gear and get a new mic and a new preamp. It's like, dude, I can't count how many gigs I've landed off my iPhone in my car because that just happened to be where I was when someone said, hey, can you get this audition back right away? It's like, well, you know what? I'm actually out on a ski trip or whatever, but I can be in my car and I'll pop it off and I'll just read it on my phone, do a quick edit and voice memos, send it off, and still land the gig, right? Acting chops, they know that, you know, we understand he's got a good facility at home, or, you know what, we're going to book a studio anyway. That stuff is not important.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right about that.
It's true.
Good acting chops, dead space.
Yeah.
Hey, you got the best voice in the world and not be able to deliver the lines.
That's it.
Nice little add-on to that. The first TV spot that I ever did, I did with a Yeti.
There you go.
There you go. And I mean, that's he had it spot on. So I mean, he did it with a Yeti, and at that point in time, not a whole lot of people were too hype on using a Yeti for voiceover.
Some of us still aren't.
Yeah, you that's a hard sell.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I have upgraded since then. This is an AT 2020 I'm speaking through. So,
actually, I'm just using the display on my my monitor. I didn't even bother hooking up my mic or anything because I actually have a separate ISO booth from control room, so my ISO booth is actually downstairs on the level below. So,
yeah, it's been a lot of fun getting into this, you know, coming from scratch and living in the sticks like I do. One thing I can say is thank God for the internet,
Oh,
lots
yeah.
of resources, and the number one person who backs me up, my sweet wife Rhonda. She is the most awesome supporter and my number one fan. I love you, Rhonda.
I take it she's in the room?
No, but she does listen.
Video telecom.
But I mean, she has goaded me and encouraged me back when I had nothing but a $20 Radio Shack microphone and was just trying to figure out everything as to how this stuff really works.
Well, you got to do what you love to do, right?
Yes. And oh my gosh, you know, and that's the thing that carries you though, is a passion for the craft and what you're, you know, I like I said, I have a big desire to do, and I am doing animation, and it's just like, it is possible, you know. Some days it doesn't seem possible, and some days it feels like you're climbing a freaking wall with no handholds.
Yeah.
But it is possible, and that's my little piece of encouragement. Who wants to take this script next?
Just a quick comment while we're still on the subject of DAWs and everything. I noticed that Kate put in here, do you punch and roll in Audacity? As far as I know, Audacity doesn't natively support punch and roll, but there are scripts that people have written to do punch and roll.
They have.
Yeah, so it doesn't work as smooth as some of the other stuff from what I understand, but it does work. So if punch and roll is something that's important to Audacity, we'll do it with, if you just do Audacity punch and roll script, do a web search, you'll find something there for that. So
yeah, I've never really had to do it myself. I like picking up those lines on that radio spot. I just re-recorded the lines again, and then changed the name of the gospel group. So
and just edit it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I don't. I very rarely punch and roll myself. I mean, I punch and roll more when I'm doing music than when I'm doing voiceover. If I'm doing voiceover, I generally just read, and if I have to pick up, I just do the pickup, and then I'm fast enough when I edit that when I come back up into the control room, I just edit my stuff together rather than doing punching and rolling.
Yeah.
Just me, different strokes for different folks. But yeah, who's next up to have a poke at this?
Yeah, how about Kate? She's new in. Did you get a script, Kate? I think she's still muted.
Kate has her mic muted.
Uh-oh, she's muted again. What happened? There you go.
I'm in my kitchen.
No big deal. Oh, you're in your kitchen. So you can't see the screen, or?
No. I'm making beef broth.
Oh, okay.
Oh, beef broth.
Kate
We
is sitting in
have
today.
the meat.
We're joining Kate in the kitchen today, making beef broth. Wait a minute, this was supposed to be about voiceover.
Oh, beef broth.
At Arby's, we have the meat.
Yes, we are making a wonderful beef broth to go with your vegetables.
We're not just making an ordinary beef broth.
Okay.
I tell you, I should have had that commercial. So who's left?
We have one more person. Dash is just sitting in, not joining because not available. But Karatics?
Karatics.
Yeah.
Karatics.
Hello.
Yeah, that's it. We got you.
Okay, we got. Oh, now you're muted again.
There we go.
Okay. You have a copy of the script?
It's the giant food store one, right?
Yes.
Right. Howdy, folks. Clem the old prospector here to tell you how you can strike it rich. And you don't even need a pick and shovel. All you need is a giant food store business card to start saving with big discounts every day. So come on into Giant today and get your bonus card.
Without me being too cruel, you sound like somebody that wasn't remotely interested in what you were talking about.
I'm actually a complete noob at this.
That's all right.
Well,
We all
listen.
started somewhere. I'm sure JD sucked at some point too.
And every once in a while, I still do.
Don't we
I mean,
all?
every day I do.
I know what it is. So let me help you out here, right?
Yep.
If one, you got to bring up your energy, right? Because you want people to. If you're not interested in what you're talking about, how can anybody else get interested in it?
Bingo.
Yeah, I guess I did need a little more energy there.
I was thinking the whole time as you were reading it, mafia guy rather than Old West prospector.
Huh.
Yeah, it sounded like kind of like a mashup of the old, kind of an attempt at John Wayne and an attempt at some mafia character. You know, John Wayne meets Robert De Niro.
I really don't know how the mafia part got in there. I was thinking something low southern.
Are you
Southern doesn't really work here because prospecting. You think gold mining and you think Old West. California.
But you also think of and generally what helps me is if I'm trying to get into a character, I try to think of something that I saw in the past. Right? Yeah. Now, naturally, because it's me and it's not the same person, it's going to come off different. But like somebody said, you got to think like Old West. You got to think gold miner. You got to think of to me, I see a little bitty dude with like some razor stubble and a little raggedy hat. So some of them things will help you develop what it is that you're looking for in a character.
Missing tooth, long shaggy beard, hasn't washed in weeks.
Because you even have to talk like you ain't got no teeth, you know?
Yeah, somewhere in there like that. Because that's the very thing that I was thinking of. That's what I put. And the other thing is remember, you are the character. Okay.
Yeah.
You're not trying to be the character. Is you're the character. You're that person. You are Clem.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I could probably have tried an imitation of my grandma or a game I used to play as a little kid.
There you go.
Sure.
Do something like that.
You may not have been in here when I did mine, but as the first couple of people went, I told everybody later on my first thought, and what I muted the mic and went to YouTube and watched a few videos on was Walter Brennan, who was a character in old Western movies years ago. So that was my first, and I kind of went for Walter Brennan mixed with Bob Dylan, like hey,
How did it feel?
Yeah. So go to when you're looking for inspiration, go to YouTube. Start at YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I had to do that the other day for something. Well, I had to do it to get a pronunciation. But at the same time, you kind of get a feel for what you're getting ready to voice. And, you just kind of look at different characters, different things that you've seen. And in this case, for a prospector, okay, how many cartoons, bucket loads of them, have a prospector?
Yeah, I mean, Yosemite Sam is...
Yosemite Sam. There's a character on Gravity Falls that I'm thinking of. If you ever watched.
Oh my God, that guy's completely nuts, though.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, he's completely off the wall, but he has that look.
So all that taken into consideration, why don't you have another read at the script and think more excitement, think prospector, and have another go at it.
Howdy, folks. Clem the old prospector here to tell you how you can strike it rich. And you don't even need a pick and shovel. All you need is a giant food store bonus card to start saving with big discounts every day. So come on into Giant today and get your bonus card.
Way better.
Much better. A little more hipster prospector than prospector, but still, vast improvement.
It kind of had the feel of a car salesman.
That's all right, though. It was all the direction was taken and put in the right place, right? It had the energy. It was definitely more in the ballpark. And as we mentioned earlier, you might not have been here when we were talking about this, but you know what? 98% of the time, the client doesn't have a clue what they want.
Exactly.
So that might have ended up falling perfect to someone's ears who was not expecting what you were about to give them. So,
and to be truthful, in a sense, it kind of reminded me of there's a store here called Ollie's, and reminded me of something they would.
Oh yeah, the bargain house. We've got those here.
Yeah, they had those crazy looking ads.
Yeah, with the looks like a hand drawn logo.
Yeah. So they kind of gave it that feel. It was good.
A huge improvement over the first read.
Absolutely.
And you took the direction, which is the most important part. You're no good in this gig if you can't take direction, especially when you start to move up. All the stuff that you do from home is all great. A lot of the times you're self-directed, but as soon as you start to move into a professional environment you're working with a voice director, he's going to start throwing stuff at you where he may say, okay, let's try that again, but I need you to read with more empathy. Okay, this time it's got to be happier. This time I want you to read it with a little more sadness. You got to be really excited over the top this read. Let's really push this part. Let's race through this line and slow down that line. So the ability to soak all that in, take it all in, and then deliver it is the next, I'd say, as important as your acting ability, the ability to take direction. So that's the important part there. And you took the direction we gave you and you ran with it, which is great.
And as far as self-direction goes, there is an app, and I'm not making any money off this. I'm just strictly recommending it because it works wonders for me when I'm but not only in a session, but putting auditions together. It's called, I don't remember the actual name of the app, but I think you get it for iPhone or Android. But it's Mary Lynn Wisner, who is a very well-respected coach and voice casting person, has got, I think it's called VoiceOver Self-Direction. So if you go to the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store, it costs about $4, but she's got audio samples of, how to do warm, how to do authoritative, how to do friendly, how to do hard sell, and it's very, very valuable for when you're doing this stuff.
There you go, handy tools that we were unaware of.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Self-directing is the hardest thing to do ever, right? Because you're stuck in your spot regardless of how versatile you may think you are. Someone with an outside perspective is always going to provide fresh ears.
It's so true. Look, I have a habit of being over-analytical. And it's one of those habits that I have been breaking over the time that I've become a voice actor. And self-direction for a perfectionist is the hardest thing in the world.
It's not easy for anybody. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. Yeah, that was terrific, though.
So how'd you feel doing that, Karatics?
I felt quite a bit better. Probably could have used a bit work to get where I wanted to actually go, but it was pretty good.
Okay.
A great hint can be is try to work into the read beforehand. I know right here where everyone's just asking you to say, hey, read cold. But a lot of the times if you can sort of play with it and think, okay, well, I'm an older guy and maybe I'm a little bit grizzled and maybe I'm missing a bit of a tooth and maybe I've got something going on. And then by the time you're there, you've sort of rolled into a character thinking of it as you're speaking out loud, especially when you're auditioning for something like that. And then you can work up and build into the character and then do the line without, someone throwing up a script and saying, read for me. So there's ways to build the character beforehand as you get into the read. So don't be afraid to do that when you're auditioning, to think about all those things and all those little innuendos and little nuances that will help create that character. Read into it, build it up, work on it, and then start your audition.
And another big thing for character development is that moving a little bit while you're actually doing your reading will help, because body language allows you to hear everything that you can't see.
Doing what that character would do. Like I was saying earlier, I leaned over, put my hand on my back, kind of assumed that position of being an old guy that had been swinging a pick for a few years, and then kind of leaned on my pick. Not that there's a literal pick in the room with me, but yeah, there is when I become character. Shane is showing us his iPad screen. Okay.
I just like to add to that, Nathan, all that and to JD stuff. Absolutely, all of that stuff is great. Just make sure that if you are acting the part and what I call speaking Italian, which is, using your hands all the time while you're doing whatever you're doing, make sure you're not wearing jewelry. Make sure you're not wearing wrinkly clothes. Make sure that it's nothing that, and I'm not suggesting you do all your reads naked in the booth. Hey, it works for me, but you don't have to. But it makes sure there's nothing interfering with the read. You can definitely get away with lots of body language and, of course, depending on your mic setup, but a fair amount of movement as well without losing anything. Just make sure that your clothes or jewelry are not offending in any way, shape, or form. So always make sure no jewelry, no keys, no coins, no wrinkly, crispy sounding clothes, and then you're much more free to move and get that body expression in there, which will definitely help in the delivery.
And there you go.
I came in late. Did we miss anybody?
I don't think we missed anybody. Like I said, we have Dash observing, Kate is observing while she's making food.
Beef broth.
Yes.
Beef broth.
When I leave here.
What's for dinner.
Yeah, this would have been the day for a food script, wouldn't it?
But yeah. Well,
alternative script was going to be A1 steak sauce.
Well, we was close to the aisle with the food store, so.
I'm 4 miles from Food City. Oh, gosh. Yes, I believe that was everyone. And this has been great. Thank you so much for the input and the direction. Been an awesome mic check. But, yeah, I believe that was everyone. Unless anyone wants to take another shot at it.
No, I was just going to say that it's definitely good to see a few different faces. A lot of them are new to me because I've been off and on. But it's good to see, different people, different faces. And, I hope everybody continues to show up for the mic checks, because there's a lot of new and valuable information that we got today.
Yeah.
And this switch over to Zoom has been miraculous.
Oh, it's awesome. And we love Zoom. Zoom is good. It works. It really does. Not that Google was bad, but Zoom is good. And by the way, anyone watching this on YouTube, we will be back next week. And you can join us. There will be a Zoom link. And we're easy to find. And we want to go back and listen to everything else that we've done. Go back and listen, pick up some techniques, some ideas, learn a thing or two. And, oh, God, I sound like a classic cartoon series just then. And just have some fun. And with that, I'm going to stop recording this thing now and say y'all have a great time and see you next week.